Welcome to Real Estate Done Rightish, your favorite podcast for realtors by realtors. I'm Jen.
And I'm Annalie. And for a combined 30 years, we've been working in this industry just trying to figure it out. And by figuring it out,
we mean Annalie's already ordered her sexy kitten costume, but insists it's just for the office party and is tastefully feline. Well, I know for a fact she's been practicing her meow for weeks.
I'm crying.
So good.
I'm trying, and partially because our office did have a costume thing today.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine at the office messaged, I didn't come. He was like, "Where were you today?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just not a Halloween person. I don't really like dressing up." And he's like, "What? It's so fun." And so, yeah, that really.
Oh, yeah.
Good job, Jen.
Practicing your meow for weeks.
Well, I have been doing that. How do you know?
That's what I do. Purring
just
and
for
meowing.
Fun,
and
just for fun. Yeah.
That's fun. Okay, so yeah, we're going to publish this the day before Halloween. We've just covered the fact prior to hitting record that Annalie is a curmudgeon about Halloween and doesn't like it at all.
Okay.
You're not afraid of ghosts. I don't know why you don't like Halloween.
Okay. I'm not a curmudgeon.
What are you then?
I don't know. What's the word?
A Halloween Scrooge?
I don't like dressing up.
Mm-hmm. What else don't you like about Halloween?
The kids coming to my door.
Okay. Anything else you don't like?
Nope.
Do you like decorating for Halloween?
Nope.
No. Do you like cooking for Halloween?
Well, maybe.
I
it's not
feel
really
like
a
this
thing.
is curmudgeon-y list. It's a curmudgeon list.
Well, listen.
Yeah.
It's not my thing.
Because you were like, if you don't have kids, what are you going to do? But my kids are not dressing up and trick-or-treating anymore. I also don't dress up myself, but I feel like the idea of it feels fun to me. Not dressing up necessarily, but like going somewhere when there's people out. Because like the buzz when people are out on Halloween, it feels fun to me.
I don't like really being out on most holidays because people get really drunk and then they're like sloppy and then it's just, ugh.
Yeah, okay.
I don't like that either.
Tell me one good.
Listen, I'm
tell
in a
me
real,
something you do
a real
like.
mood today, so you're not going to get a lot of about Halloween out of me today.
All right, well, let's talk then, yeah? So today we are wrapping up our Sobertober month. Our last week was on database, which I didn't do jack on, which I kind of said I wasn't going to, but I've been working on a lot of other stuff. So for the people, let's just touch base on how the month went.
Well, we better address the non-elephant in the room because we did post it all over our social medias.
Yeah.
So on Sunday was the
26th.
Minnesota Timberwolves home opener. And last minute, well, a few days before, I don't know, whatever, we both got invited to go to the game.
Because we're like podcast famous. And they were like, listen, ladies, we got press passes.
No.
They were like, your 40 listeners told us about you.
Demanded.
They demanded
that we
in like a courtside.
Yeah. We did get invited to sit in
very close to courtside. It was amazing.
Row 3 courtside level seats
by friends
and have the whole like backstage top lounge.
Yeah.
Good food, drinks, the whole experience. Like a candy bar that you can fill up candy and take it to the court. So before we went, when we found out that's what we were doing, we talked and we were like, okay, are we going to have a drink or are we not?
And we are.
And we decided we were.
And we did. Yeah.
And we did. So honestly.
So you made it 27 days.
It was 27
without
days. Yeah. It was the 27th day.
Yeah.
Or 28th day or something that I stopped or had a one night where I had drinks.
A one night stand with alcohol.
And then I'm not going to drink the rest of this week. You know, like I'm not like stop. I didn't just stop. Just kind of like you had a. But I don't really feel bad about it at all. I'm just going to say because we talked about it. We made a conscious like this is kind of a special thing. I mean, will I ever sit in those kinds of seats again? Maybe, maybe not. You know, it's like I don't know. It was fun to. And let's talk about the whole story.
Let's talk about it.
I felt horrible the next day.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was by 9 o'clock. I was fully functioning and like doing my, I had a full day. I wasn't like sick, but I woke up at 3 a.m. with a headache like I've never had in my life. And we didn't drink
excessively. I mean, we had some drinks.
Yeah.
From the course of 4 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Yeah. But also like
we weren't excessively drunk.
A couple beers at the game. It wasn't like we were drinking
crazy. No.
Whatever. And it doesn't matter. I woke up in the I don't think this has ever happened to me in my entire life.
Whoa.
I woke up at like in the middle of the night with the worst headache. And I like could hardly see, my head hurt so bad. And I was like, oh my God, am I dying? And I laid there for like a half an hour. And then I got up and I was like, I got to take something because I couldn't sleep. Like it hurt so bad and I couldn't sleep and I couldn't like get comfortable and it was awful. And then all day yesterday, like I worked out at 4 o'clock and I had taken Advil twice and I could feel my head pounding. And like if I did certain things, I could feel it still hurting. Like
that's pretty wild.
The day.
So
my body said
something unicorny was happening to your body over that 26 days.
Something happened in that. Now I'm like,
do I ever want to drink?
Not really. It was awful. I felt, and it wasn't like I didn't feel sick to my stomach or anything. I felt it was really just the headache. But I'm like, this is not worth it.
Migraine-y kind of.
All. Yeah, it was kind of migraine-y.
Yeah.
And I've never had a migraine in my life, so I don't know what that's like. But anyway, so yeah, I guess it's interesting. I think my relationship with alcohol has definitely changed.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
well, and if we just like, if you guys haven't tuned in and listened to the last few weeks, like in summary, we've had a focus each week on what we're working on, either for our own personal health or for our business. And I think both of us, if you look at what we've done in the last month, it's been a lot of like completely overhauling systems and launching new projects and doing new things. And both of us, I wouldn't say that we wouldn't do it, but it created a lot more opportunity and space for that, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. And that all of it changes the relationship of, to alcohol, to time, to whatever, all of it. Yeah. It's all related.
Yeah, I think now I was thinking about like, so after this week, like, I can do whatever I want, right? Because it's kind of like, well, I can't, so I'm just I'm not going to.
Yeah.
But I was like, I just don't see myself seeking out opportunities to have drinks. Like, I will go to things, and I will still, I guarantee I will still have like a glass of wine or two with fun dinners and, whatever. But, I don't foresee myself being a sober person necessarily, but we'll see, because that was not a fun experience.
Well, and I think something
and the act of actually having drinks out compared to like when I went to concerts and didn't have drinks.
Yeah.
No difference in like
enjoyment level.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
In fact, I really like just really being in control, because I am kind of a control freak.
No. Yeah.
Just in certain ways.
Just some ways.
Just sometimes.
Like if I could nix out Halloween, I would. If I could
okay. All right. Oh, I do like... I was going to say I do like candy, but I don't really eat candy.
Turns out I hate candy too.
Anyway. So yeah, that happened.
So we're done. We've learned a lot. I don't know if we want to go in this direction, but if it's just like, what are we thinking about? What have we been working on this week? But I'm listening to a new audiobook, which is the second one in like 2 weeks, on wealth creation. And this one was on The Science of Getting Rich is what it's called. And it was written, I don't know, early 1900s, same as Think and Grow Rich. And I just listened to another one called Born Rich by a different Bob Proctor. And I've said it on one of our episodes, and the same, like all of the principles are the same. But one thing that I was listening to today made me think about this, which is that once you've determined, there's so much, I can't get into the whole book, but like once you've determined the path that you're going to go on, wherever your skills lie, like whatever the thing is, the path that you can see providing services in exchange for finances, you do the thing to the best of your ability as much as you can with as much joy as possible, and then have gratitude for what's heading your way. And there's so many principles I could talk about, but it caught me thinking again about like when I'm not having drinks and I have more time or more focused time, it allows me to put that, and I do have more energy for it. I'm just like, oh yeah, I can do this thing to the best of my ability. But when I'm a little foggy or I have a headache or I feel a little tired and I can only like look at my computer for so long, it's all an impact that, again, you know, it could be just one day a week that you feel kind of yucky and you don't get much done. And that's a lot.
52 days a year.
That's 52 days a year. Yeah. So I think it's good to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me.
What other stuff did you work on? Well, let's go through kind of the weeks we've been snowballing. Any other health things come up for you? You still working out?
I'm still working out. I think it's probably mostly women that are listening to this, which maybe it doesn't matter if it's men, but I do think that I need to get my hormones. I just feel like the fogginess that I've been feeling isn't alcohol related. I feel like it's hormonal and it doesn't feel good. Like, or I need to do some kind of
So
like there's detox.
You're still a little dumb.
Yeah, I feel a little stupid.
Just kidding.
No, just like
just thinking back to the drive that we were
oh my
having
gosh.
when you
Wow,
said some
I was
wild
definitely
things.
dumb that day. But like, you know, if people that are listening, it's when you go to like, what's that name? Why can't I remember that person's name? Or like you're searching for a word that you can't find. I will say though, the times that I've done like the last 2 years around January, I do a super clean eating, like taking certain supplements that actually detox you of metals and all this stuff. I remember being like, oh, my brain feels sharp right now. And there are some women, the person that led me through that and like I hired to help me with that, he was saying that he'll have women that are postmenopausal that'll get a period again after they detox this way because it shifts hormones and all kinds of stuff in your body. And I'm like, maybe there's something to that. But anyways, health related, I've been doing everything else normal. Like it's working, going to the gym. I haven't added anything else in. But I feel like I need to consider exploring the hormonal thing because I just feel a little not sharp, not mentally sharp like I could be. Yeah. Yep.
Do you think that's just getting older?
Well, yeah, but I do think I was thinking about this the other day because I was talking to somebody about one of my daughters. Oh, geez. I don't think I should go here.
No, I don't think you should.
Like, no, I'm like, I shouldn't share their stuff. I was just talking about hormones, basically.
Yeah.
And like this idea that even, and this is not necessarily about my daughters, and I'm fine sharing this, and they'd be fine with this part too. But when girls go through puberty, I remember having this conversation with them and them being like, no, it's not because I'm on my cycle. And I was like, it's okay that you get irritable, and let's not pretend it's not a thing because you're on your cycle because you're a woman. Let's just be honest about the fact that this week you're really irritable, you know?
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm like, yes, it could be my age, but I also think that women our age, I'm like, it's kind of unfortunate because we don't really name it, I don't think. And then you do feel kind of stupid. It's like, what's wrong with me? And I've read now more. It's obviously, I don't know that I would say that it's trending because I don't think it's a trend. I think it just hasn't been well researched. That now it's getting more research. So there are women that are validated at this stage of life that are like, I'm not just. I remember when my mom went through it and being like, God, she's forgetting everything. Like she can't remember where she put her keys. Like she can't. You know, part of that is personality, but part of that is whatever.
I couldn't remember that when I was a child, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really have a great baseline to go off of for myself. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, anything else for you physically? That was our week one. No? Okay.
I'm
we
doing the same stuff. I don't know.
Need to be
still not a
broken record.
unicorn.
Okay. So that was week one. Week two
But I'm not a unicorn, but I definitely am better than when I have training.
Yeah.
So that, you know.
That's good.
Week two
Finances.
was finances. I need to put like 2 days a week on my calendar that I consistently am focused on that. Because I just need to stay on top of it in a better way. I don't want to.
Why 2 days a week? Why not like one?
Well, I've got some back stuff that I still didn't finish from our week.
Okay.
Like that's focus work.
Oh, I thought you meant just like your normal, regular
Going
routine.
forward, once I'm like everything's cleaned up, I also want to shift some ways my business is structured. I need to do some research on some different things.
Yeah.
So probably two days a week right now through the end of the year.
Yeah, that's great.
And just like time block it out. And then next year I should be like
weekly.
Yeah, like Thursdays I can go through and do whatever.
Be
Fridays.
really not hard, also not easy. Like the simple things are not always the easiest thing, but to have like a weekly reconciling your bank account, putting expenses into the right buckets, doing your mileage stuff. Oh my gosh, what a relief to get to the end of the year and not have to do any of that and just be just so clean and feel so in control and so on top of it. Yeah, that's great.
That's where I want to get because I've never been. I think there was like 2 years that I was kind of there where I was at least at the end of every month I was doing it. Not necessarily, so I was missing some weeks here and there, but.
The other thing you could do that I would say to people, you might not want to do this because you have the ability to do it yourself, but there are a lot of people that are less organized than you and I might be, like they're just realtors run a spectrum just like anything. And most realtors that I worked with were not accountants, and it's like, oh, we're small business owners, but you can hire somebody to do bookkeeping, sure. And just don't have to hire a full-time employee to do it. But we can outsource that stuff if people feel like they have enough revenue coming in. That's like, you know what? I could just hire somebody to do that too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Week 3 was social media and like online footprint and presence.
Yep. And that's what opened the can of worms of me redoing my whole business.
Did you talk about that? Okay.
No. It was last Wednesday.
Yeah.
That I was in my team meeting and it started with someone on my team. We set a listing appointment and she said, well, what are we doing for pre-listing right now? Are you sending out are you doing it online? Are you doing the old box that we used to do? And I was like, oh yeah, let's just do a box. That's great. I was like, I think we have some made up even. And then someone else on my team was like, we do, but we paused because the book needed updating. And then I was like, okay, I'll put it on my list this week. Like, I'm just going to do it. And then it was, well, everything needs updating. And then I started looking at my whole business and I was like, oh no, I haven't really updated. Now, there are a ton of things that get updated, often because the market's shifted in the last 5 years. We've been all over the place. So there are certain things that we update more often, but I haven't done a full, is everything in the business the way I want it?
Like pre-listing packets, buyer packets.
From the website to photos, like branding photos for the team to, just like every system, like every single system. What email am I sending out when I set an appointment? Have I updated that? Or have I updated the template? Because some of the stuff, I'm just editing the old template every single time and not taking the time to
update the template.
Yep. So I kind of went down a spiral of, and then I was like, I started making a list and it was hours that I was like working on even creating the list of what I wanted to work on. And then I brought in my trusty Claude.
Boyfriend.
My boyfriend. Well, let's not call him my boyfriend. That feels so sad.
But it's funny.
For you. It's sad for me.
No.
Hilarious for you.
No.
He's my assistant.
We'll just leave it at
that's
that.
Good. Yeah. He's been helping me.
Is he at least sexy?
No, he's a computer.
But I thought we were turning them into like AI people. Anyways,
no, again,
okay. He's your assistant.
Not.
I'm in society, not we, not me.
Okay. So I've been like diving into that. I completely rewrote my pre-listing book. It's like 100% different than it was.
And do you love it now? So much more?
I think so. I still haven't zoomed out. Like I just finished it yesterday. So now I need to zoom out. I need to print it.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to do after this actually and take it home. I need to print it, read it, and then right now it's not visually the way I want it. It's just a book of words.
Yeah.
And they are like, I did create breaks but I haven't put in graphics and I haven't
it's the copy's there. Yeah.
The copy is done.
Great.
The formatting is not done. So I need to finalize that. But I mean down to I'm redoing the website. I started that today and I was like, okay, I want to create a sitemap for my new website and just Claude and I worked on it for 30 minutes and I got the entire sitemap done. And now I'm just going through. Also, Claude wrote, I want the most organized, best systematized real estate business a person could possibly have. research everything, look at my project, and give me an operations list of every single thing I need to do. And it gave me a list of like
an overwhelmingly long list. Yeah.
Which I also need to print out and just like post. But and it starts with like foundational items.
Yeah.
Like, do you have logos? Do they have
You
this?
can turn AI into a coach. You legit can. And I've heard people say this, if they're like, if you want to build a business, just get on AI and be like, I'm going to build this business. Where do I start? And
it's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have pretty much a layout of like, this is like a 6-month plan, but I have so much done. Like it kind of did it like it was a brand new business.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of the stuff done. I just need to tweak it.
Yeah.
But it's giving me the list to tweak, and it's amazing. And literally like yesterday in the last part of my day, like the last 3 hours, and I get super just into it. And then I worked until like 11 p.m. So I got in like the last 3 hours of my night, I got almost all the foundational pieces done. And then what I realized is also like, I went through 3 computers in like a year and a half. Don't ask why. It's embarrassing. And I lost some things, or I just didn't reorganize my new computer when I finally got one that stuck, because I think I was so sick of like pulling things out of the cloud and putting them on my desktop. So now I'm using that guide that AI created me to be like, oh, what are the logos that I use all the time?
Yeah.
And do I have them in a folder on my desktop under operations? It says
cleaning
logos.
up everything.
Just like literally down that granularly, so that the things, where are the headshots for each person on my team, so I can just grab them because they're in Canva. But what if I'm not in Canva? I need them somewhere else. I literally will go to Canva and download them. It'll get lost in my downloads, and then I don't. So stupid stuff like that is like what I'm
cleaning it up. We're talking about cleaning up the corners of a business and having the time or creating the time to do it. Yeah. And I'm just thinking about people like when we have these conversations, I think about a few categories of people: the newer agent that's getting started, the agent that's been in the industry forever, that's maybe like you, that is like, I had the systems, but the systems need an overhaul. And then there's an agent that's been in the business for maybe a few years and maybe 15 years and has never, and I've sat across the table with many of them. When I say, tell me about your systems, they go, what do you mean? And just like, what is a system? What kind of system do you mean? And that's a really fair question. And I think to me, a system is anything that I'm going to repeat. And it can be as simple as, where do I store my headshots? Because I don't have a system for where I store my headshots. So I'm wasting time and mental energy and getting frustrated in those moments, to having email templates. What are the email templates? Where are they stored? How do we access them if I have a team? And the more systems we have in place and the more accessible they are, the more scalable our business is. And or the more we can create efficiency and just saving time. So then if people are like, well, I don't really care to do all that because I'm not going to build a big business. I'm like, well, do you want more time and less clutter in your brain? Because just getting this stuff cleaned up makes it so much easier. And then as the industry evolves and changes as quickly as it does, then we can like stay on top of updating that stuff. But what I would say, for whatever it's worth, what I've been doing now is, I always would say this before too, like, I'm just kind of like building the road in front of me as I'm driving on it. And that can be overwhelming. I was going to ask you about that, because when you hit this point, when you look down like I want to say gully, but that's not the right word. It's not alley either. You know, when you look down like a dark tunnel and you're like, oh shoot, is there an end to this? So you get to this point where like, I'm going to burn the whole business down and start over. I'm thinking about people, and I hit that point we talked about on the last episode last week when I was launching this YouTube thing. I'm like, oh, and my newsletter, a new newsletter on a new platform the same week. I'm like, what am I doing? I totally hit a moment of paralysis, I guess I would say, you know, just kind of like, where do I even start? So I'm thinking about people that are like, okay, good idea. I want to tackle some of this stuff, or I want to tackle my finances. Maybe this is the first episode they're tuning into, but they're overwhelmed. So in those moments for you, like you have that moment of overwhelm, how do you get out of that? What do you do to like figure out what to tackle and how to move forward?
I do one of two things. Usually I kind of like pause and just take a check of, why am I feeling overwhelmed right now? Because it's one of two things. It's either I'm tired and it's just been too much and I can't see the forest through the trees anymore. I never get hungry.
It's like people, you're either tired or you're like a kid.
Yeah,
you're
it's
tired
the baby
or hungry.
thing, right? Yeah. So do I need a break? Mm-hmm. Because I posted it on my stories. I took a video and I was like, uh-oh. Do you ever have one of those days where it spirals and then at 4:45 you want to just burn your business to the ground? Because I literally had a moment where I was like, what if I just started over and literally just shut this business down and started a new one?
It's hard sometimes to fix what's already there.
Yeah, it just felt like a twisted knot of confusing.
Like a necklace that gets all twisted up and you have to untangle it.
It felt like a mess. And I was just like, oh, God. Ugh.
Yeah.
And then I was like, do I even like my branding? You know, you start to you stare at a bunch of stuff long enough. And I started just being like, I hate everything. I just want to start over. I hate myself. Like, what is happening? So in that moment, I paused. It was 5:00. I was like, you've done enough. I'd spent like 4 hours on this. And I worked out and I cooked and I like kept thinking about things a little bit, but I tried really hard to think about something else and just let it go. So, and just take a break. So that's one of the things I'll do. Or if it starts to be too up here for me, and what I mean, people can't see me, I'm waving around my head.
Like it's a big
like
cloud.
a big cloud in the sky. If I'm like, and this I feel like can happen to me really easily using AI, because it will spit out like
so much
lists, like line after line after line after line, or even a downloadable PDF. But then I've got 7 things open on my computer and I'm like, wait, where was that? And then I have to go back and be like, tell me about that again. What was I working on? And if you have a little ADHD or ADD, like I definitely do, and you have 37 windows on your computer and you're jumping from task to task because you can't focus.
Yeah.
If it's too much abstract and not enough concrete, then I will print out or make a list. And then I will like, don't stop until you get this thing done. And I will also do a quick audit and like close everything on my computer.
Yeah.
So I'll just like shut every single window. And be like, what are the 2 windows I need to do this task? And that's all I keep open. And then I'm like, don't do anything until you're done with this. And then it's right in front of me what's going to happen next. So like my brain knows where it's going. So I will get like concrete. And what I mean by that is like real, something I can touch.
Yeah.
So that it's
Paper.
not just this idea.
I think that's a challenge
things.
though, of like the prioritization. I think when in the overwhelm, whether it's AI that helps or you being able to take a break and pan wide, I feel like that was for me was like, what's the first thing that must happen in order for everything else to happen? Or what's the most important thing that must happen? Because when it feels like a tangled webby mess and nothing feels like priority, then it's like, well, which strand do I pull to start moving this forward?
Yeah, so I would say just start somewhere.
Yeah.
And it will start to, the path will
clear.
start to become clear, because I started with my pre-listing presentation or my pre-listing box, not probably the most important thing.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form.
Unwind.
And I wanted to stop midway through that and jump to something else, because I was like, this is not the biggest thing right now. Like, I'm setting appointments right now, but they're either people that don't need a box necessarily because they're like repeat clients, or they're for like a month from now getting ready for spring market. And I was like, I do not need this right now. I need to do all of these other things. And like, I started panicking and I almost stopped. And I was like, no, just finish this thing. It's going to feel so good when you can just be like, this is done. I can now print these items. I can prep 20 of these boxes. So that's for my next 20 listing appointments. We're just ready to
That's
rock.
like a good example of discipline, just like keeping yourself on the tracks.
Yeah.
One thing we talked about too was, to me, it feels like a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, I don't want to lose. I think this quality about myself is what drives me forward in being able to be an entrepreneur, which is that I don't know if I purposely do this. I don't think I do, but I set kind of an insane deadline for myself. It's not an insane goal, but I'm like, for sure I can get up a new YouTube channel and a new newsletter in a week. For sure. That's easy because I've done this stuff before. It's not that easy. But then for some reason, when I get that deadline in my mind, even though I'm the only one that has set it, I feel tied to it to some degree. And I think that's good because it's a way to have an intrinsic motivation and like a fire under your ass that's going to like get you moving. But then when you get for me, like we were in here one of those days and I was in tears, just like overwhelmed and creating stress for myself. And Gordon had said something too, like both of you were like, hey, you can turn the dial down even on just one thing.
Yeah.
Like stick to this thing, keep the fire going on that, but just remember you're in charge of turning the dials up and down.
Yep.
And I don't know why I don't.
Or
this
like,
is maybe
it's okay to move the deadline to 3 days out.
Yeah.
Or to take a full day off.
Yeah.
Like, I felt the same way.
Yeah.
I was like, I had given myself through the end of the weekend. And then Sunday, we had the game earlier in the day. And we had I had things going on. And I had left I had probably 3 hours that I wanted to, like, finish what I wanted to finish by the end of the weekend. And I was like, no. I'm not wedging that into my day.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and I'm going to run these errands. I'm going to like make sure I eat food.
Yeah.
I'm going to like give myself time to shower before we go to this game.
Yeah.
And like, no, that it's okay if it takes me until Monday or Tuesday to finish those items. And then I kind of reassessed, what did I want to bring back to my team? My team meets on Wednesdays. So I was like, okay, let's put that as the deadline. And I just reassessed my own deadlines and was like, no, I can 100% take today off.
Yeah.
And Monday and Tuesday, I have to let's make the list of the things that I said I would do before then and whatever. So I
think it's similar to like the unraveling of the jewelry idea too, when you're like, you don't know where to start. And sometimes when you don't know what a project's going to entail, you set a deadline, not really knowing what it's going to entail. And then when you get into it, when you said, yeah, I have to reassess the deadline, I think that's really important to keep in mind as an entrepreneur, that you're like, thought it was going to be a lot easier. I'm losing my mind.
Yeah.
Let's just reassess now that I know more of what I didn't know.
Yeah.
What is actually possible here? Yeah. And I think it's not necessarily a bad thing to feel that sense of urgency in this industry. I think there's a lot of people that don't feel, not that I've got that all figured out, but like, I would rather have that than not have a sense of urgency, but it's learning how to handle that. And I feel like that's a little bit of a new, it seems silly to say actually, but I feel like it's a new sense of awareness for me to be like, oh yeah, I do that to myself.
Well, you also are transitioning back to working for yourself.
Yes.
And you were setting timelines and deadlines for yourself. I mean, you were running a company still, so you were setting them for yourself, but knowing that there were other people that were also watching or were a part of that, or people below you that were watching or were a part of that. And that's a different level of like, oh, I said I was going to do it, so I have to make sure it's done, you know? So it might just be a little bit of that too. But,
yeah, I think that's true.
Social media presence online week really messed with my whole world. But I'm excited.
We were joking about like, I feel like this was the month where it's like, you know what? What are we going to do this month? We're not drinking. Let's do everything.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but I'm actually excited. I feel a little bit like rejuvenated about my team having a business. It's interesting. Like, I was feeling really slow. I still am, but I shouldn't be. I have a ton of listings. I just need to get them to sell. Just, whole thing.
Yeah.
But in the last like 2 days, I think I set 4 appointments. Like now all of a sudden, as I'm like feeling like I'm busy working on my business, now business is making me busy. So it's kind of interesting. We've talked about that. Just like if you're sedentary and you're not doing anything, things don't.
It's an energetic thing. It's movement, and kind of
Yeah.
even circling back to that idea of like, what is the best that I can do today with what I have in front of me, and giving it everything I've got, and not to the grinding ourselves to a pulp point by any means. I'm not a fan of that, but really asking yourself, like, am I doing the best that I can on the thing that I'm working on right now with the time that I'm choosing to spend on it? And I think that's a good self-check, like accountability. And I think most of us could probably do better. I'm not going to say more. I'm just going to say better, like more intentional effort and more care with what we're doing, and more, just like thoughtfulness and intention. And I think that when we do that stuff, it's attractive, because whether it's people see the result we're putting out or it's just energetic or whatever, I think it makes a difference. Yeah. That's great.
I also did very little on my database because I had just done it for our party. We didn't really, when we planned that week 4 was going to be database, we both didn't really acknowledge that we both have been working on it.
Yeah.
And I worked on it the first week because our party was October 16th. So that was my or the week before. So I did a few little tweaks to database stuff, but not like hours and hours. So
that's a wrap on that.
That's a wrap on Sobertober. And we have plans to have like a happy hour on Friday. And I already was like, I think I'm going to have one drink and drink water.
Yeah.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
I was like kind of like dreading it. I was like, oh no, now I have this like thing that I'm already made plans to do. That's like literally a drinking plan. And I don't want to drink. That sounds bad.
You could just start with like a seltzery, it's the thing. Yeah.
But it's weird because it did cross my mind. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I have like a drinks plan on Friday.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Don't forget to wear your cat costume.
Oh, I will.
Okay, so we don't have like a solid plan yet, but I think it would be interesting for the listeners to talk about what we think is ahead, some ideas that we've had for episodes. And now I'm trying to remember what we talked about. I mean, we've talked about bringing on some guests, but we did, like 2 seconds ago, I had here's my brain again, some of the topics.
I'll talk about something first.
Okay.
Well, you remember what you were going to say.
Okay.
I'm going to do a quick plug for myself. Just that I am redoing all of these systems, and I am teaching a class. I know a lot of our listeners are local in the Twin Cities. I am doing like an all things listings class.
Cool.
Here in our office on November 13th in the Minneapolis Lakes office. We'll post something on our social media.
Great.
So and like put it in the newsletter. So watch out for that. November 13th. I don't even remember the time. I think it's like 11 to 1 maybe, or 11 to 12:30 or something. And it's either with Graham Smith, who's the team leader and was a mega listing agent for years, or Jason Spars, who is our assistant team leader here. I'm not sure which one yet.
Cool. I'm also teaching at MAR on November 6th. There's another plug. Yeah. It's building a team, really how to build a team. So if you're considering building a team, which I feel like I don't know if a lot of people are right now, we'll see if they cancel the class or not, but it's scheduled for the 6th. They canceled it last year. I'm like, I don't know.
Did.
It's like, with the way the market is, I just don't think a lot of people are building a bigger business right now, you know?
I don't know. For some people, it might be a good time to build a bigger business.
I disagree with that. Okay. In terms of next episodes coming up, we'll have to we'll let the people know what they're going to be.
Well, I think next week we talked about talking about the state of the market.
Yep.
Doing a quick deep dive.
A quick
dive. No, probably a full deep dive into economic updates. What's happening locally, nationally. I think we are in a time that is a little bit unprecedented as far as the way the market's behaving and consumers are behaving and what's pressuring consumers. So I think it's a good time to just kind of talk about that. I literally have a seller right now who our conversation the last 3 weeks has been like, well, the book's been thrown out the window. So now what? And it's just like, well, we do our best.
Yeah.
And all we can control is positioning and exposure.
Yeah.
And we keep focusing on that and getting creative. And also, it's like, you don't want to fire sale a house.
No.
I mean,
so we'll talk about that more next week. Like I think the market update plus how are we having conversations with our clients right now about positioning. The other thing that we had talked about maybe doing an episode on is AI and how we're using it. I mean, there's so much material out there, but I think we could do a something on prompt. I don't actually, AI is changing so quick. You don't even need the same kind of prompt that you used to need, but we could do that. And if you guys have things you want us to talk about or questions that you have or more that you'd like to hear from us, let us know. We can see what the ones that are most listened to are the listing ones, but we are getting feedback that people like our banter and our chit chat. So if you want to hear us talk about dating life, then let us know.
We don't care if you talk about real estate.
I know, they're like, we don't really want you to talk about real estate. Actually, can you just talk? Okay.
Well, I mean, we could. I don't know
what we would talk about this week. I can tell you one thing I would talk about this week that's not real estate related. It wasn't with you.
I actually have something too, but it is AI related.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay, great. I was talking to my guy the other night, and the conversation meandered from like politics to being grateful for the country that this person was born in and how it's not here and like which countries around the world would be like hard to be born into, and just like kind of it didn't feel like a heavy conversation, but I was like, wow, we were talking about a lot of like intense stuff. Oh, we started talking about homelessness and drug use and how that's a problem, like in the city, like just talking about driving up to our office and just what we see up here. And then he said, you know, I think if more people lived by the golden rule, half or more of the world's problems would be solved. If we actually lived by do unto others, like how would I want to be treated in this moment? And interestingly enough, I went to a Four Seasons. She's like the head of I don't know, customer experience basically. And she was being interviewed by Cynthia Freud, and Cynthia was asking her like, what's one of the principles that you guys practice? And she said, that's their number one. It's always like, if we have a client that's frustrated or they're checking in, we know they're in town for a funeral, or we're, you know, doing XYZ, we're always asking ourselves, how would I want to be treated in this moment? And I'm not going to go into all of the tangents of politics and all of this stuff, but I think, you know, it's a conversation that's coming up, especially if we just want to bring it back to our businesses and we're looking at our clients right now in the level of uncertainty. If I'm feeling a level of uncertainty, and if we know some of our clients are probably losing SNAP benefits and whatever else, regardless of what you think politically about people, like my mom was a food stamp mom growing up. That wasn't enough sometimes, and I'm feeling that for people right now, regardless of what.
One of my favorite things as a child was government cheese.
Oh, really?
Did you ever get government cheese?
No, I don't even know what that means.
It's kind of like, well, I don't know. It was like we
Different?
got to go and get. You went to like a place. It was like SNAP benefits, but it was like, I don't know if we had coupons or what. I didn't even know that this was. I thought everybody got their cheese at this place. I had no idea when I was a child. But you like went to a specific place and you got these like giant blocks of cheese.
Oh yeah, no, we didn't.
And
have
I'm sure
that.
they were like free or very inexpensive because it was some sort of government assistance program.
Yeah,
government cheese, man.
Yeah, no, that's real.
There was like cheddar that was kind. It was like Velveeta-y. Like it was that.
It's like not
kind of
real cheese. It's government cheese. It's not like
some
good
of it
cheese.
And then there was like. There was white stuff that was like pre-sliced, but you peeled it off of like a block. Like it was a big block, but it was all pre-sliced. And I remember I really didn't like that.
Didn't like that one. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So back to the point. There's a lot happening right now, and it just got me thinking. It's such a simple thing to think about, but I had to stop in the moment and go, is that really true? If you think about all of the world events that are happening now and all of the stuff politically and stuff with our clients and stuff with friendship, like you and I had like a little crunchy moment last week, and just like anything that's going on, like if we really stopped in those moments and said, how would I want to be treated right now? How much would that change?
Yeah.
And then I thought, what gets in the way of us doing that? And it's almost always just pride, I think, like some form of pride and ego. Because I'm like, when I think about homeless people and what would stop me from having more compassion, it's judgment. It's a lack of understanding. It's, you know, so then that's kind of part two of it, is just thinking through, well, what gets in my way of having more compassion in those moments and being able to empathize and think, how would I want to be treated right now? But I guess that's kind of that's going in my newsletter this week because it's stuck with me, and it's the second time. Anytime things come up more than once for me, I'm like, pay attention. The universe is sending you like a little wink right now to just have that be maybe a growth edge for me to go, in this moment, how would I want to be treated, and how can I offer that to other people to the best of my ability, which is going to be imperfect, but that's my non-real estate related thought for the week.
That's a good one.
Yeah, what's yours about
Golden
AI?
rule.
Yeah, golden rule.
Mine is about, I utilized AI because I saw the To Be Magnetic people evidently on her like paid Substack or something. Somewhere there was a prompt that was asking AI to look at like your astrology, your gene keys, your human design, and your, what was the third one? Numerology.
And did you do it?
Yeah, the idea was you ask the AI, you tell them your birth date and your time of birth and your location, and you say, can you go research all of these things and like create my divine path in life and like this whole thing.
And it was you should be a realtor. You're on the right
I
path.
was so validated. It was just like, sell houses. It just said that over and over and over and over again. And the idea, I'll just, if for people that don't know what human design is or what gene keys are or what any of the stuff, the whole idea is that like you are born whole and to be a certain type of human. And the more that you can align yourself with that and not listen to outside people telling you who you should be, the like easier your life will be amazing.
Yeah. I would add more, but we don't need to. Yeah.
I mean, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's astrology based. It's based on birth time and
other,
where,
other things. But, and some of it gets a little like the history of it and how it was created, like the human design stuff. I'm like,
yeah.
Who created this? And they seem like they might have been on mushrooms, but I don't know. I like it, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So, so it was like, it printed me off this crazy
Will
long
you send
thing.
me this? Maybe we could share this prompt if we can figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will say it couldn't look up my human design. It needed me to tell it some things, but then I just told it the basics and then I was like, redo this. Here's my human design basics. And then it redid it. But fascinating how all of those things are virtually the same, right?
Yep.
They're interconnected. Obviously they're all built on the similar, like building blocks. But mine was all about creativity. I have my hands in too many things all the time, but that's not a problem. It's actually like who I'm supposed to be. And then using my voice to actually bring creative things to other people and like inform. So it was like very all just
validating.
the same. Yeah. Very
Did that
interesting.
cause you to want to add or change anything towards your like vision or your goals or like what you're doing?
I just did it today.
Oh, this is new.
So it's brand new. So I haven't even like dug into reading the whole thing in depth. I kind of like scanned through. So I don't know. I don't know yet. Like there's definitely a lot. I mean, it also broke down like different phases of your life, like from 0 to 7, this is what you were working on and this is who you were supposed to be. And then from 8 to 28 or whatever, like this was this phase. And like I'm in the phase of life now that is like mastery. So it's like, you are becoming in this phase a master of different things, and this is really when it's important to like step into that and not feel shy about the things that you have mastery in. So that was kind of interesting.
It's great.
Fun.
Fun.
But it was like
very,
very fascinating and very in depth. And like I haven't done anything with gene keys, so I had no idea what that was. And like, so yeah. So I think we could do an episode on some of those things. And because I think it is, when you're like an entrepreneur of any kind and you're looking at, I mean, I think real estate's just a really good example of like, we're all doing the same thing, but there are 18 million ways to do it, right? There's like, you can be any kind of agent you want to and find success in it. And I think if you're like struggling to find yourself and your voice,
because she's like a human design person and coached realtors and
but like it's a fun way to kind of give you an idea of this naturally is maybe where you could start leaning and see what doors open or what happens, because the idea again is that if it's aligned with who you are at your being, it should feel easier, or like paths will emerge. So
as a quick example, I'm a 4-1 and 4 is community builder, 1 is information, and you like to deep dive on like go down a rabbit hole and deep dive, and that's totally me. So even what I'm doing with the YouTube and like building I keep wanting to build out community. Like I want to build a team, or I want to build events, or I want to like my natural, when I built my business the first time, I was aiming to do an event or like a volunteer thing once a month, because so like if you kind of, either that's just going to happen because it's who you are, or if you're maybe not aligned because you're doing what you were told you should do.
Right.
But then you get this aha of like, oh, that feels so much more like me. Goes back to one of our early episodes of like building your business in alignment with who you are.
Yeah.
It makes a world of a difference if you can do that. You can
like enjoy it.
You can enjoy it. Yeah. Because it's not really about selling houses.
Yeah.
And the business building side isn't.
You should be good at that too, though.
No, you should be good at that. But the business building side isn't about that. All right. And with that, folks, are we done?
I hope so.
Okay,
No,
good.
Just kidding.
That's all for this week's episode of
How
Real Estate
fast?
Done Rightish. Until next time, cheers to doing it rightish.
We don't want it slow, but we don't want it like. I mean, it could be funny if we do it fast.
I don't know how fast I can do it. We'll try. I'll just do it as fast as it feels. Okay. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general knowledge and informational purposes only and do not constitute professional, legal, or financial advice. As licensed real estate agents in the state of Minnesota, we are not attorneys, financial advisors, or tax professionals, and we cannot provide advice in those areas or in regards to any agency or broker-specific topics in any other state. Any reliance you place on the information provided in this podcast is strictly at your own risk. We strongly encourage you to consult with qualified professionals for specific guidance related to your individual circumstances.